Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
Shall we talk a little bit about news? This one truly, I think, is really stupid, to be frank with all of you. All right, but let's talk about it anyway. Here's our big news story for today, folks. Are you ready for this? The Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders have been delayed in Canada. Why? Pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada will not start on April 9th, tomorrow, in order to align with the timing of pre-orders to be determined in the U.S. Wait, what? Huh? So, for those who don't remember, the pre-orders of the Switch 2 in the U.S. have been delayed. Originally, they were supposed to be tomorrow, but Nintendo said, well, because President Trump has announced all these new tariffs that are probably going to affect pricing of the Switch 2, we're holding off on doing pre-orders for now. Don't worry, the Switch 2 will still release on June 5th, but you just can't pre-order yet in the United States. In which case, okay, I get it. But what the hell does that have to do with Canada? Why are Canadian pre-orders being held up because of American tariffs? Does that make any sense to anyone? Can anyone even explain it? Like, if someone has a rational explanation for this, I'd like to hear it. But I don't understand it at all. We're different countries. Our pricing is already different. For those who don't know, in Canada, things are more expensive. So the Switch actually is already priced more expensively in Canada. So I don't get... Zebra says, well, it's the same supply chain as the U.S. Yeah, but Zebra, that doesn't matter. This isn't a supply issue. It's a pricing issue. It's not, oh, now the supply has been exhausted. That has nothing to do with this. The reason that it's being delayed in the U.S. is because the prices are going to go up because of tariffs. The prices are not going to go up in Canada because the tariffs don't apply to Canada. So why is the Canadian pre-order being delayed? That literally has nothing whatsoever to do with the supply chain. So I don't get it. Because we aren't really different countries. Canada relies on the USA. That's why they're the 51st state. They can't even import the Switch 2 on their own. NJZ says because you could buy it from Canada and have it imported to the U.S. That's true, but you could do that now anyway. Again, the point here has nothing to do with the supply chain or the delivery. The console will still be released on June 5th. That hasn't changed. What's changing is the pre-order timing because of pricing. That should not affect Canada in the least. I don't understand. Game Boy says products get sent to the U.S. first, then get rerouted to Canada. But that still shouldn't affect the pricing. If it's getting shipped to the U.S. to then be sold in Canada, the pricing won't change. The tariff still won't affect it. Like, I'm really wondering what is the actual reasoning? I don't understand it, and nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense at all. Turbo Base says they don't want to set up a North American distribution for a small percentage of the market. Turbo Based, they're not delaying the release of the console. This is what people don't seem to be understanding. If they were saying, we are delaying the release of the Switch 2 in North America, I'd be like, that makes sense. They're delaying. It's not coming out June 5th now. Okay, they're not delaying the release of the console. This has nothing to do with supply chain. This has nothing to do with anything you guys are talking about. This is purely pricing just in the US and pre-order timing. It has nothing to do with physically moving the consoles at all. Game Boy says since they will touch U.S. soil first, they would have to pay the U.S. tariff on consoles going to Canada. That's not true. That's not true. That's not how tariffs work. If that's the case, every country that a product flies through, you'd be paying a tariff for. I want you to think about That's not true at all. If that's true, then tariffs are utterly broken and don't make any sense. So, okay. So let's say you manufacture a product in China and you fly that product from China to the United States. Well, while it's flying, you're crossing over a whole bunch of countries. Do you pay the tariffs for every country you flew over on the way to the USA? Does that make any sense? Well, that's not the same thing I'm being told. Why? Because it doesn't physically touch down? Why not? You still pass through the country. Why doesn't the tariff apply? It should. If a tariff applies simply because a product arrives physically at a port in a country, then that tariff should also apply when you fly over the country. In reality, a tariff should only apply if the product is arriving to actually be sold in that country, right? Let's say I make a product today. I don't know, I draw a piece of art and I sign it and I sell it to someone in France, okay? And I ship it, but it lands in England first. Why should England get a tariff? I'm not selling that product in England. I'm selling it to someone in France. So why would England get a cut? All it's doing is bouncing off of their port or shipping system and then going to France. So you're telling me that the tariff does apply and that the UK would get a tariff on that? That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Jade, how are you? 46 months as an Ultra member. Thank you so much, Jade. He says, so Phil, get a new PC box. I'll be back. You're getting a new PC box? Are you actually buying a new PC? If so, that's awesome. Congrats on that. And I hope you get a good one. He says he's going to be back later. All right, sounds good. Actually, I need to move my pop-ups. Here we go. They were in the wrong spot. Let's move them there. Cool. What's up, Game Boy? How you doing, man? So basically what you're saying is, okay, this is what I asked for. So maybe I'm getting my explanation. So the reason that they're delaying the pre-orders of the Switch 2 in Canada is when these Switch 2s are mailed or shipped from Japan to North America, they have to hit a North American port first, in which case a tariff will apply despite the fact that those Switch 2s are not to be sold in the United States, but exclusively in Canada. And therefore, the same pricing hikes will apply to Canadians that apply to the US, even though the tariff is a US tariff on product, not a Canadian tariff. So they're basically delaying it because it's going to have the same pricing issue. Is that true? So if that's the case, wouldn't Canada be pissed that literally everything coming to Canada has to bounce off the US first, and now they have to pay more with these tariffs? That is correct. So Canada's fucked. So basically, Canada's just fucking shit out of luck. Canada will be paying more for everything, just like we will be in the United States, even though the tariffs aren't Canadian tariffs. Wow, you guys in Canada, you're up shit's creek at this point. Wow, I feel bad for you. You guys are fucking, that's the worst of the worst. You're getting fucked by us? Man, it must suck to be you. So let me get this straight. You live so far north, it's cold as fuck, the weather sucks ass. The only things you really have to claim to fame is like hockey and like maple syrup, right? And French, because some of you speak French and have shitty food, eat poutine and shit, right? And now you all have to pay more money because we're fucking you with tariffs. Who would want to live in Canada? Holy shit, you guys got to get the fuck out. You have a universal healthcare system that you have to wait like 17 months when you stub your toe to see a doctor. Let's keep going. You have shitty beer. really awful, watered down, shitty beer. It tastes gross. It's disgusting. I mean, Budweiser's gross too, but Budweiser's not even an American beer anymore, I guess. What else? Your prices are higher than the US. You are. You pay more than us for everything for some bizarre reason. I really don't understand that. Right? You drink milk out of bags. Is that true? You guys drink milk out of bags? Holy shit, you guys. What is happening up there? Who would even live there? If I was in Canada, I'd be jumping into the ocean and swimming somewhere else right now. I'd be I want nothing to do with that place. Get me the fuck out of there, dude. Holy shit. They don't say bathroom, they say washroom. Well, I mean, technically, when you go to the washroom, you usually are washing your hands. You're not taking a bath. We call it the bathroom. Well, I call it the restroom. And to be honest, I don't rest when I go in the restroom, right? So why do you call it the restroom? Well, we have ketchup chips here in the United States, too. I can't hate on them for that. We do have ketchup-flavored potato chips in the United States. Okay? Some people fall asleep on the toilet. That's true. Some people die on the toilet like Elvis, but he's American. They call annoying people shit disturbers? What? There's weird stuff going on. So anyway, if you live in Canada, you are absolutely fucked. That sucks. You should not listen. I know I was just joking about Canada, but I'm going to make a point now. Canadians should not be paying for the political decisions of the United States in any way. You guys should not have to wait for your Switch 2 pre-orders. You should not be paying more for the Switch 2 because we're putting a tariff on it. That's just ass backwards. I completely disagree with this, and I do not agree with it. I think that's fucked up. You know, you guys have enough problems up there with all the shit you deal with constantly. I mean, you go outside, it's like a beaver chewing down your house and shit, right? You try to walk down the street, there's a bunch of hockey hooligans that are playing street hockey, and you just you get struck with hockey pucks right in the middle of your face. It's terrible. I can't imagine living up there. Americans shouldn't be paying for it either. Well, the whole idea long term is that these tariffs are actually supposed to help us. How? I don't know. I don't really understand it because I stopped researching the politics shit because I'm not doing the show anymore. So I don't really understand it. But you know, I guess, is it true? Canada's national animal actually is the beaver? I was joking. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm very sorry. I was making a joke, a parody, like an exaggerated parody joke, but apparently it's true. I'm very sorry for that. I wouldn't have made that joke if I knew that was true. I feel like I hit you below the belt now. I'm very sorry, Canadians. That's true. You know what they say? You shouldn't punch down. So I'm going to stop joking about Canadians right now. All right. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Actually, technically, it's punching up. Canada's above us. So we're punching up, but we're still punching down. Get it? Oh, man. Anyway. Oh, I see. The national animal of Canada is beaver bother. Oh, God. Now you guys are really bad off. If you got that guy as your national freaking mascot or whatever. Ugh. Yikes. Do I want to keep offending Canadians some more? Sure. What else can we say? Moose. Moose are like retarded deer, right? Like, I'm just kidding. All right, I'm gonna stop now. I'm not gonna continue. That's it. I can't say anymore. No, I'm done. I can't. All right, let's relax. Now some people are very offended that I went too far with the moose joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. I take it all back. I was just kidding. It was meant in jest. I did not mean to offend any Canadian. Seriously. No, but I mean it. I don't think Canada should be affected by our tariffs at all. That's bullshit. Why are you guys getting higher prices? Why do you have to fucking wait to pre-order your Switch 2s? Like, that's just nonsense.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.